just simple. These are, if we look at this image, this is a render marker done with all the same materials. You've got all the materials to do a sketch exactly like this. There's just, these are grey fonts. They're pretty dark, like an N7. There's some lighter grey stripes here. There's thin lines and thick lines, thicker lines. There's a sort of randomness in those stripes that's really important. If you draw even stripes, all the same thickness, it's not going to work. So you need to have a kind of a randomness, like these stripes on this cup are also not all the same thickness. Some of the, say the window, which will give a light stripe on it, will create a certain light stripe, and the gaps will create different ones, and at different angles there'll be different thicknesses. So these all shift. What you see here are basically window reflections that have been compressed. What you can see here is this side is quite blue. That's a blue chalk gradient, and one side is quite ochre, and that's because there's often two different light colours. One's warmer and one's cooler. And you see this if you look at portrait paintings and photographs also, you often see there's different light colours on each side. If you put the cylinder this way, you see you still have the stripiness, we'll see a kind of a reflection which reflects a little bit the horizon. So this is the dark reflections on the floor, darker colours. A little bit less than halfway, a dark line, and then the top will be lighter tones, which generally reflect the lights on the ceiling or the sky or something like that. And then you'd have the warm colours at the bottom and the cool colours on the top. Blue from the sky and the warm colours from the carpet or the floor or the grass. So there's all sorts of different kinds of shapes, of course, not just cylinders. We see here kind of a cylinder shape, and then it's sort of, you can see what's happening around the corner. It gets kind of liquidy, teardrop kind of feel, so soft curves tapering off to little points. About reflections, these are a very standard and a very convenient way to draw a reflection on a lying cylinder. I'll do a sketch like this for you in a minute. What you can see is this ochre yellow colour is reflected up onto this cylinder, and it spins forward like this. Basically, it's because the reflection tries to come towards you. Reflections always come towards you. This is curving up and around. That's just something to remember. That's a nice little effect. You can see it happening if I put this cup here. You can see something similar. Can you see that? Like that. So that's just the strategy of drawing a surface which you can reflect in an interesting and not too difficult way. So a handy one when you're drawing something chrome.
How do you decide which side on the ground prints?
It actually, what I try to do, and this is actually a little different, it tends to want to come towards the viewer. So if this is tilted forward like this, it's going to want to come towards your point of view. So if it's tilted back, it will also try to come forward, but it might not be able to. Depends a little bit on the angle of this. It's not so important. It's more that shape, which is typical of reflections on curves. So if you get that, if you draw it in the wrong direction, no one's going to really notice. It's more a generic kind of shape that fits. And then, if you're going to get really outrageous, you can look at what reflections to get a surface-looking reflection. You have reflections in it. So here you see that. Why does this look so glossy? Because it's got really dark tones, really dark blacks here, blacks here, and then these soft gradients, blue, and then you can really see the flora, the texture of the ground, and everything is all reflected. This is not drawn by hand. It's well, it's drawn by hand, but on a digital environment. But it's all the same theory. So I've also put some images up on the DLEL. This image you can download for yourself and print colour. It's a little bit what we're doing this time. There's different surfaces. Next week we'll be looking at wood. There's a glass image here and there's a chrome image. There's no gloss images. But in this shape are a lot of different shape situations which you can refer to and use it as a bit of a guide. We've also got another this is another page out of a book, Sketching the Basics, exploring the same kind of theory. This is again what we're looking at in this term, is surface. You can see matte, which we'll be doing next week. Matte surfaces have very low contrast, soft gradients, and the gloss surface underneath, high contrast. Here we have some glass, images of glass products with steps, how it's set up. So, and here we have some chrome or metal versus steel images. And there's some good feedback and tips on this page about how and why, ways to make it look more. So it's there, use it, print it, look at it, and use it and keep it near you while you're doing your concept sketch. Okay, what I want to do now is I'll do a demonstration sketch. I'll show you how I approach this myself, and then we'll take a little coffee break, and you come back and draw some of your own products. You can